Okay. So, welcome everyone. We'll start with the prayers before teachings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached by the merit of generosity and other good deeds. Let's start at the beginning one more time, sorry. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Sangye chodang zoki nam la changshu padu dagi gyapsu chi dagi jinso ki pe so nam ki chola panche sangye drupa sho. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness in the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering in the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness in the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Ma ka dang yam pe sam chen tom che dewa dang dewe gyu dang den pa gyo chi. Dung ao dang gung ao gi gyu dang drawa gyo chi. Dung ao me pe dewa dang mi drawa gyo chi. Niring chak dang ni dang drawe tong yom la ne pa gyo chi. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned by Mount Meru, the supreme mountain, the four continents, and the sun and the moon. As a Buddha field, I offer it. May all living beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. Sashi puchu jungshing me tok chum riva blingxin yinde gempa di sangye shingdu mikte puwa yi jokon namdak jingla chokwa shu idam guru rata mandala kamyataya. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma to vehicles and their combination according to the dispositions and likewise the mental capacities of living beings. Semchen namki sampa dang lo yi je dra jita wa che chung tang long te pa yi choki kolo kontu so.
Lama jeno, rinjen zaga lama jeno, bade lama guyo wazo, da boga jeyo jeso jendo, de manda belam to nyangada. Jave jasa gaden da da demba dami. Do je chawan gomban je gomba, angara chen, dor chen, chan chen bon chen, chen no, lo ande zo tuje zo je sinje la chen, kuta na nye da da zo chen. Tenye lenda dewa zo je, namo na se nam da Lama la na se shi shi so che ban bo, nam zong yung zhu zi so wan de, ka wa dong zhu su sin je la ji, yin da wa zu ge je, ma su ji me jia we tu. Chen bei shi nga dan de, za we da ni ga de ji. Dwa chen ze ren bo che, da sim ni je nga de so wan de, chu ni je nga de sin je la, sim du ne ji me na da. Long de chu ko do wu ra sin je la, nang ga de ni be sin je tam je. Lo chu son do vara sinje lav do so, chu lam do vara sinje lav do so, antru ba so vara sinje lav do so. Chu na yi shi san cha vara sinje lav do so. Wasa sa cha chenpo shoge mutu to vara sinje lav do so. Chewa kunda yanda lama dan rami shije bala long jeje sada lam jeje de razonde. Doje change gomba nyor tho sho sanjo simne Rinpoche maje panam jejre shik cheba nyamba meba yang. Kone konda pe war sho. Okay, so welcome everyone. Yeah, so everyone maybe good evening, right? Out there. So everyone is okay. So now I'm going to direct to reading the text of this Longchenpa. So the whole idea is I have to. I will say a few words first, as usual, and then everybody start your own opinion, your own, thinking, whatever. It's like it's not just only teaching. This is group is like open discussions, open discussion. So it's a very, very wonderful opportunity for me too. Sometimes just myself, teacher like myself, talk, and then the rest of no opportunity to say something. Sometimes it's difficult. So therefore, we are going to do just as a conference. Everybody can speak after my thoughts. Okay, so please. Now we are already started the verses first. We are in second, I believe so. I will read the first one in Tibetan just. Jewo na zo tab yen korman di ne tin jin zun be gong yin zen ba yang zui ba xie da sim xian be ju ji bu de ba ke we nian dam yin zhong jiu si wu suan den du la so yun dian jewo wi so ten ju ri zhang sen er si be da so lu di che rang sim de wa ke we nian dam yin. Okay, now second one, and read in English, please.
In English, performing village rites, like taming demons of dead children and the living, peddling our qualities as merchandise amidst the people. Out of attachment to food and wealth, we get carried away by the demons of the mind. To tame one's own mind is my heart advice.
Okay, now here I think so. My understanding, the Longchenpa's talking about, I think it's very important as usual. The training, the mind itself, the essence. That's the essence teachings of the Buddha, actually. Buddha Dharmas, actually. Rest of practice and the teaching is wonderful. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes when we forgot to training the mind, training the mind itself, or never transform, never learn about how to practice seriously from the heart and mind. So then all the practices become just almost not so much meaningful, So therefore, the Longchenpa saying about here, I think this is goes with sometimes in the different parts of the world, the different cultures, certain time. And you know that Tibetan Buddhism is the as every teaching is there, mostly practice of Vajrayana practices, Vajrayana practices there. So therefore, sometimes they, in the past, not everybody, it's a certain times, certain groups are there. They are so interested only for the rituals practice of there, making noise there, drumming, making kind of different things, outside. So looks like a very powerful, uh, whatever. That the rituals and certain things are like that. Sometimes it's quite a bit challenge too. But do not understanding the real, then they what the rituals believes that it demon and so on. They're just dispelling the rituals through rituals. So many things. And people are so interested there that actually, and there's a pure practitioners like that, like that too. They're so doing that. So those are becoming very, very, how to say, they uh, sell very good in the community, actually. They invited everyone to do those things, I mean, in the past it happened and still sometimes do that, happens very, very. Or in the also change So that's a lot of happening, or not the real Dharma practice, or not the real Dharma practice of training mind, do not understanding the true Dharma meanings, Or so therefore, the Longchenpa saying about specialty attached to that, say knowledge means food and wealth and fame, reputations, name, and so on. It's kind of Longchenpa saying those are the real demons, There's no such things, existence of demon. Those are the real demons when we have kind of so stuck, kind of caught with this, attached in them, especially for the true practitioners are very obstacle generally for the fame and the names are the most obstacle. We didn't realize that, actually. Or fame, the names, having oneself, then it's always looks like everything's okay because you have fame and the powers, wealth and something like that, name. Then it appears as a very wonderful practitioner, Actually, the Longchenpa says it's not that. That is the real obstacle in the true practitioners, or that's what they call it, So real demons is that one, when so sometimes didn't so attached to those things, name, pain, powers, and so on. Then do not really understanding the true Dharma practice, never ever train. It's very difficult. So therefore, Longchenpa saying about Chiburu Kubin Damien, Longchenpa saying this, no needed much of those things. Stay in the cell. Not necessarily have those wealth, fame, name. Stay oneself and practices, Stay really quiet and humble and then practice oneself, train the mind is the best way. And the practice is, oh yeah. So that's my understanding. The paragraphs are talking about the how, or um, so my own personally, let's speak a few words. My personally experience in Dharma. Actually, it's true. Really, it's true. The Dharma obstacle is nothing so much in. There is some level external possible. External different things is possible due to different conditions. So when we are not really Dharma understanding, but the most is the inner obstacles. The oh, name, pain. So then this happens sometimes. So then it is become a really, really more obstacle. There's no time for practices, at the real practices. Oh, every time she's a worry about these things. Worry about those name, pains, the powers, struggle there, all those things. Not really practices in inner practices. Doesn't happen that. Or also, which is I'm not realizing, but I'm pretty much aware about those. Or sometimes it happens that way, really, really happens. So therefore, the most important part is ransom durwa kuvinjinta means the essence advice that Longchenpa says is really need to train our own mind, again and again. The essence of the practices, or even though whatever we practice about the study, it's all about the timing the mind actually, or we meditate to the practices, whatever it is, also timing the mind. If not, the mind is becoming more kind of increased the negativities, including the prides and egos, so are bigger and bigger and bigger, whatever we do, then the Dharma is not working actually. Dharma is not practiced very well, not happening. The purpose of Dharma, true spiritual practice, is each practices we do, whatever, every day or once in the weeks and years, is supposed to be whole. The purpose is really trimming the mind, especially for the negative emotions that was less power, less and less. Also, that is talking about my understanding this second chapter, second paragraph. Okay, so that's my thoughts. So let's study. Anybody want to have any thoughts about that?
Richard, do you want to start us off? I think you're newer to our Thursday call, so I'd love to offer you the first chance to ask questions.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. One of the things that occurred to me listening to Lama's commentary and when we first read the verse, of course, it seems like Longchenpa here is more formally addressing, if you will, gurus, Rinpoches, people that would be performing such ceremonies. As a lay practitioner, I find there's implications for us as well, is my thinking here. In a particular way that it's landing with me. There are times I will acknowledge when I go through certain rituals, like saying the refuge, which I do every day, saying my bodhisattva vows, which I do every day, I'll sometimes catch myself that I'm not doing them with mindfulness. In other words, I'm just going through the motions. As a sidebar, because we have a small group tonight, I'll just maybe digress for a moment. I just got back from a multi-day retreat in New York State with Soni Rinpoche, which was a beautiful, beautiful teaching. And I was aware that at a certain point during the retreat, I had entered the hall where the teachings were conducted and just bowed to the Buddha quite in an empty way. I just did it sort of as a reflex. And as I became aware of that, it wasn't necessarily a moment to beat myself up over it, but to cultivate the aspiration to be more mindful and to approach the rituals with a deeper sense of meaning. So the next time I entered the hall, I thought to myself, I bowed to the Buddha, and I thought, how remarkable that, a man born in a dying industrial city to immigrant grandparents that came to the manufacturing, to the city for manufacturing jobs from Europe. What a miracle that I found the Dharma during my life. And with that sense of deep gratitude and appreciation, I found myself really connecting with not just Shakyamuni Buddha, but all the lineage masters through the Nyingma and the Kagyu tradition that have, if you will, been a conduit for the miracle of receiving these teachings. So that's how this passage spoke to me, at least tonight, was it's not just gurus and Rinpoches and the like who can go through the motions of these ceremonies, but not necessarily be taming their minds. If I'm perfectly honest, I have found myself doing a similar thing, and I cultivate the aspiration to be more present and to bring more meaning into these practices, and particularly the rituals that we have. So, Richard, bowing out, thank you.
Thank you, Richard. That's great insight there. John or Darcy, would you like to go next?
Okay, I was muted, sorry. The verse to me, for me to get through any parts of the Dharma, first thing I got to do is put my ego in the back of the bus. To me, there's no room for an ego in Dharma studies. And as far as power and money, I don't have to worry about that because I don't have any of that. That I lack, but I have no problem with it because I've learned through this to have more and need less. It's just that simple. And it works for me fine.
Do you have any questions or comments?
Tim, did you ask Darcy? I'm sorry, it's hard to, you're a little
Oh, yeah.
quiet tonight.
Maybe I'm not being loud enough. Yeah, Darcy, did you have anything you wanted to share, ask?
Only that taming the mind is probably my biggest challenge. It's a struggle. And most of the time, it's not the problem that's the problem. It's my reaction to the problem. And that's all in mind training. It's a work in progress. But I guess the fact that I'm aware of that is something, right? That's all I have to say. I'm finding it difficult to tame the mind. But at least I'm noticing that I'm having difficulty with it.
Yeah, I think we're all relate to that. Katie, did you have any you wanted to share? Or?
You know, I guess there's a couple of things that come to mind. There's some quote, it might be in a sutra. I wish I knew exactly, and maybe Lama will know, but which, when speaking about the Buddha's disciples, it talks about how the really faithful disciples will never go without having their needs met, in a way, right? Like through the practice of the Dharma, as we're integrating it into our lives, our food, our housing, you know, our needs will be met. And I realize there's kind of maybe a bit of a fantastical hint to that as I say it, you know, a bit of a like, well, yeah, but you still have to put pen to paper. But I think that's also the aspect of integrating the Dharma into these different areas of our lives. So I wonder, you know, I'm a therapist, and I think about the emotions that sometimes can come up around these things. And so attachment to food and wealth, for example, there's a fear there, like for example, there have been times in my life where I just didn't want to engage in like the normal course of work in the Western world. I wanted to, you know, go to holy places and put out a begging bowl and just like see what unfolded, you know. That wasn't my karma. It didn't work out that way. I ended up, you know, getting a master's degree and getting a job and doing the whole thing. But I still think about how to do that in the most ethical manner. And it's, you know, it's a working process to try to understand how to be a Dharma practitioner in the world. And there's a bit of, you know, Dharma in my work. There's a reason why I decided to be a therapist, because it felt to me like a way of addressing people's inner needs more directly. But I still, you know, charge a fee for my job, right? And, you know, I think, okay, well, it's great. You know, a lot of folks have insurance, so for the most part, you know, that's not too much of a burden to people. But I have to sit with it a lot of different times about how much to be concerned about how I'm using the funds that I receive, and how simple am I living, you know. So these are things that are continually being, and when I am doing work or spending this hard-earned, or this hard-earned money of the people that I work with, that they pay me to be their therapists, right? I have to think, like, you know, have gratitude for the efforts that they've undertaken to allow me to, you know, live the life that I live. So it's an interdependent thing that's unfolding. So those are aspects of taming the mind for me, is figuring out how to incorporate. For me, the Atisha's Lojong, the 52 slogans, are a really good continual guiding force for that as much as I can. And I'm very, you know, just working at it. But Those are some of my thoughts.
Yeah, it's comes up for me, the slogan, um, I'd say the grasping, when I'm hearing attachment to the food and so on, and almost like the outward show or the entertainment of the rituals that he's uh, Longchenpa was highlighting. It kind of makes me reflect on my own grasping. I want the best for myself, you know, and I wanna have people notice my qualities. I want to have you know whatever kind of food I like when I want it, and eat as much as I want, and not to have to worry about uh, all these kind of temporary worldly things. And my mind is just squandering its kind of opportunity to do something more profound, like the Dharma, and or at least just to not make myself suffer because I'm grasping so much at myself, and even like Darcy and Richard, all you guys have pointed out, we notice it. So I observe my mind grasping at you know uh, all these things, and I still can't always uh, stop it. It's trying to rationalize why I deserve to have what I want, you know when I want it. And it's very it's exhausting, it's tiring, it's predictable, and um, sometimes I wonder, you know if I'm ever going to be able to go beyond that, and my mind will even use that as kind of an excuse to not really draw the line, and just stop eating or stop wanting to have another cup of coffee or whatever, or and little things. And but I think that's my mind also trying to get out of it, just going, well, I can't do this, I see it, I can't stop it. I've been trying this, to be disciplined my whole life, and I'm still not very disciplined on an inner level. But uh, I feel better when I don't just give up, when I kind of go, okay. Like, I loved your example, Richard, of the bowing, and that was very moving. And I thought, I really do rejoice when occasionally, like you say, you're able to just allow your mind to be calm and tame and not, rush after grasping at things. And it's such a relief, that you go, okay, uh, it's a miracle, but you know, I didn't let it, uh, these demons of my own demons, take advantage. And I'm grateful, for the Lamas setting this example, most of them, most of the time, anyway, that I can see. Many of them, you know, uh, because we need each other. We need like an example. And I love that, you know, Lama really lives these teachings, over those years on and off that I've known him. I just really know he lives these with such passion, and sincerity. So it's encouraging, even with the unrest. I'd forgotten that you were in Nepal for this pilgrimage, and I saw the unrest in Kathmandu, and it's really upsetting to see that. But hopefully there'll be something good can come of it. And so I feel like that's all of our predicaments, as practitioners. But thank you, Lama. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. I don't know if
Thank
there's
you.
time, so Lama, if you would like to share some more, or others have other questions. I see Richard's hand.
Well, sometimes, of course, we have pretty much we're aware about it. Sometimes the master, those texts wrote what the teachings, then they explain. When the writers has a different background of their own educations, their own knowledge, their own territories, what is happening and during those times, during Longchenpa's time. It's very far, but it's nothing much difference at this time, actually. But what happens for me is, as a former monk, I'm pretty much aware about the Tibetan culture, on the Tibetan religious, whatever we call it, spiritual Vajrayana traditions, at some level in the past, or sometimes in the present too at the moment. We are so focused into spiritual, the religious part of the ritual so much. I think that's what I'm thinking about the Longchenpa's kind of actually addressing about it. There must be at the time lots of wonderful practitioners, meditators, real Dharma practice, the training mind. That's possible. I'm not saying it, they're not there. But most of the time, majority at the time, including I've been there too, every time the ritual, after rituals, So then I'm not saying ritual is something wrong, no at all. Without as early, many of you pointed out, has to be a mindful understanding of the rituals, the meaning of the rituals, the purpose of the rituals, without knowing the manifest of the external, the kind of, oh, it looks wonderful, or appearances or something, So that become for me personally also very difficult to accept it, I do respect the rituals and so on. It's a wonderful Vajrayana teaching, so very good there. But without the knowing, then it is really consuming the time, the energy. How much I put in my lifetime in the ritual. The truth is, right now, I'm not so much interested in the ritual. I do ritual sometimes, really. I appreciate it. Wonderful things there. But I'm not so much. I just said, I need to go back to sit and train my mind, be mindful, train things like that. So therefore, in the past, in the spiritually, all the communities are involved there so much, following that way, So then it's difficult, not enough addressing the real training the mind, whatever it is. So that's what I think so. Then of course it's, I don't know, I would believe in so many things there. Ritual can, dispelling all these demons in somewhere there, also, so on so, or etc. Here they're talking about here that the word is salt, the better word is salt, means etc. There, you know. It is actually happened in Tibet many times. In the spirit Tibetan community, it's still happening that way, you know, really. The truth is, but when, like for example, it's a maybe it's our human, maybe some cultures and nature, you know, really. When there's a ritual thing happen, people gathering so much, hundreds of people. When the real teaching, like including like mind training, including like a real the sound practices teaching, nobody interested. And it also depends on the pen and the name too. A lot of fun. A lot of involved in other things too, not just only the ritual part, you know. It depends on who does and who not, you know. So here what is saying is, including my own personal life, I spend so much. I really respect that. I really try to understanding about this true Vajrayana practice. I'm talking yes, you know. Really. It's a wonderful meaning. I'm not saying that at all. It has a really profound meaning. Each ritual has, if we understanding for it, really, it's a great, powerful. But when we do not understanding about the ritual, then it's just a kind of ritual. That's all. It's like a manifest nice sound, nice to, you know, drum or symbol and so on. You know, it's all there, but it is quite a bit challenges there actually. So therefore, that is, I think, so my understanding of the Longchenpa's addressing people in the Tibetan culture has been so emphasizing so many rituals, you know, so many things. It's not just Tibetan culture now. It's also I'm not saying it's also happening in the West too.
Is there water?
You know, oh, so what I'm saying is we have to be a little more mindful of that. I'm not saying against anything. You know, we have to really learn the meanings of that ritual. You know, to try to really understanding the essence of the point is the essence of the Buddha Dharma's teaching. You know, that if we lost that part, then we really lost it. That doesn't matter outer appearances, whatever, whether it's a ritual, whether it's something else, it doesn't really matter, you know. Or likewise, the same thing. Name, pen, wealth, so much, so you know, this doesn't work anymore, you know. Doesn't happen. So that is my focus is my own personality focus is what is the real Dharma? What is actually? What is the essence of the Dharma? You know? And this, including academic point of view is what is we have to learn. What is actually as a meditation point of view? What is the really essence of the Dharma's teaching? The mind training and so on, you know, training the mind. Yes, Ali pointed out training mind. So one of the challenge one too, you know, very training. And we had this my small group here. We are pilgrimage. This topic we are talking about the basis right now is about the practice of mindfulness. And then object we have learning about this mind training with we are here learning about the patience. This 2 weeks learning about the patience. The opposite part of the patience is most the anger which we learning about. We just start addressing learning. It's very, very challenge. I've been last few days, we were discussing about so much, tense. When we go to the real Dharma, like I mean the real Dharma thing, like talking about the angers and talking about the patience, talking about the mindfulness and so on. How the basis of this we're learning about the Tatina Tan's book and reading some, then I will try to share some my own thoughts about the learning about this thing. I noticed it took me so much energy, my physically, the mentally, so tired, really. So that's what I mean. It's actual real Dharma, which we try to put in there, effort there. It's not easy, No. So that is my my limited knowledge about it as a Tibetan, how we do it most of the time. Of course, there is a wonderful practitioner, which is hidden in everyone, isn't it? So we are so kind of so much attached and interested in this ritual. Actually, we do actually, we do really much, and still we do, and getting a little better. I can see in our society. Let me speaking about Tibetan societies, anywhere so much, but still. Now this getting better education, so therefore everybody learning about the ritual, what that means, teaching about its purpose, or so on. And then it is also a form of meditation, that's also ritual itself is form of meditation practices. That is form of mindfulness meditation too. There's not much, So that is my my understanding about this Longchenpa was talking about, Then that says, actually, yes, as Ali some pointed out, we all needed food and living, everything. There's no doubt we need it, But then there is going sometimes too far, So then it is difficult. As a practitioner myself, very humble practitioner, and so then it is quite a challenge, including every day in the life, We needed kind of balance, in order to survive certain things. We needed whatever necessary, We cannot really avoid those things. There is no doubt. But sometimes different things happen, different situations, different societies, including individual or including in society of the monks, nuns, monasteries, and things like that, that societies. And then that's a lot of, sometimes challenge there, actually. Sometimes too much, sometimes somebody doesn't have anything, so that's a challenge part. So therefore, the Longchen Ramjam want to be felt saying about, stay oneself and be humble and practice every day, whatever. And I feel it too sometimes. It's true. Sometimes I feel like I really don't want to involve with anything at all. Just stay quiet myself, Go somewhere and everything, retreats, and just, enough for food and clothing. Just stay like this way, No involved with this, anything else, whatever, there is spiritual, but there's a reality of life, stay quiet, But it's quite a bit of challenge, you know. But I interesting yesterday, day before, I noticed here, we are in a pilgrimage in the Bodhanath in Nepal, and there's one practitioner. Probably I did not, I'm just guessing, he must be from somewhere in the Chinese tradition. I'm not sure. Yesterday I saw where he did, I saw he was doing some prostration. So I noticed my knowledge about it must be his some from different types of Chinese tradition of the Buddhism. You know, he was very simple, carrying clothing, that's all. That's all he has, you know, very simple. He just really quiet. I never seen his talking with anybody else, you know. He just go around and meditate, sit, and I noticed one nun came, offer him this fruit, certain things. He accept that one, you know. And somebody can offer the money. He did not accept it. He gave it to somebody else. There's another monk there. He gave it back to them. I thought, not easy, but that's also different lifestyle, you know, different ways of practices, you know. I thought it's interesting. So, so that the point is here. Actually, let me start. The point is actually what we have, what I learned is the my understanding. Not putting too much time and energy in the ritual. That's very pointed here. You know, it's wonderful, but sometimes people put everything there. You know, that doesn't work. You know, so the other thing is sometimes the balance part is not too much name, pain, wealth, and so on. I think that is also a challenge. Try to learning balance and try to train our mind every day. You know, I learn is every day, whatever practice we do, you know, short meditation, training again and again, you know. That is the which I learned this chapter talking about, you know. And then, of course, as a real practitioner, from my view, as a been kind of different ways of the wandering myself, so which is not so involved, so many other things. So, you know, try to be quiet and sometimes the challenge involves so many things, you know, and it obstacles, makes an obstacle for practice actually, you know, so many things. It's wonderful to do once in a while, short time, you know, not always, you know. So it's quite a bit of challenge. So that's why we're more focused into our own, you know, training the mind or whatever necessarily. That's why I will conclude the teachings of the Longchenpa, what they say, you know. So, yeah.
Okay.
Time is good. Okay, yeah, time is good. So, so now we have dedication prayer, please.
Just as the Bodhisattva Manjushri attained omniscience and Samantabhadra too, all these merits now I dedicate to train and follow in their footsteps. Jampa Pavo Jita
Chenpo Da Gondo Zambo Te Ya Te Shen Te Da Gunje Jiso Da Lo Ji Gewa Te Da Tam Je Rab Zo.
May I never in any lifetime be separate from the authentic Lama and always enjoy the splendor of the Dharma. Perfecting the qualities of the paths and levels of realization, may I swiftly attain the state of Vajradhara. Kewa Kuntu
Yanda Lama Da Rame Jije Bola Long Jije Sadam Lamje Yente Raja Ne Doje Shange Gomba Nyoto Shu.
By the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious enlightenment. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. Changchuk Samchok
Rinpoche Maje Bonam Chichara Cheva Nyamba Meva Ya Kone Kondo Meva Shu.
For this realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of every benefit and bliss without exception. Tenzin Gyatso, you who are one with Avalokiteshvara, may you remain steadfast until samsara's end. Single source of benefit and happiness, may the teachings long remain, and may the lives of those who hold these teachings be stable like a victory banner.
Neche Po Temba Yuri Nepa Temba Jimbe Jo Na Kose Jamse Tenjo She. Well, thank you, everyone. Good to see you. Very helpful next week. So we are doing fine in Nepal. I told you, there's a lot of happening. It's very sad. So yeah. So very. It's
Keep Nepal in our prayers.
Something's happened very much.
Okay, see you next week. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yes, next week.
Thank you.